Hello, Big Boss here, Rescue Chief of Humane Emergency Animal Rescue. Today's vlog is about my experience at the Southeastern Extrication School in 2023. I refer to it as SES throughout the video. It's held once a year in Hartsville, South Carolina. If you're going, register early to get the classes you want or miss out. Words to the wise. When I checked the hotels for booking, I thought they were overpriced for a room to stay in. For the same price as one of the hotels, I was able to stay in an Airbnb cottage. I could cook, do laundry, or simply relax. It was like going back home each night. Go a day early if you're traveling far to get familiar with the town. It'll make the next few days easier. The Food Giant grocery store is the only one that had organic options. The first day was registration and general assembly at the Coker University Performing Arts Center. When registering, we were given SES swag. Swag included a t-shirt, ink pen, and a trucker's hat. Later in the afternoon, during the general assembly, a representative from the courses available spoke for about 10 to 15 minutes about their course material. That ended with everyone meeting at a restaurant called the Blind Pig. They had several tables set up with boiled shrimp, tacos, barbecue, rolls, and more. Iced tea and water to drink, or alcohol was available at the bar. I recorded as much as I could with my phone and an old phone using a time-lapse app. Next time I use it, I'll have to set it to take pictures more often. Things evolve so rapidly. In most cases, the camera missed a lot of the action. Anyway, lesson learned. Day 2. There's a designated parking area for the attendees. When you park there, get there early for the best spots. You'll also want to bring everything you need with you, such as your PPE, drinks, camera, etc., in a rugged waterproof backpack or whatever you might carry those things in. There might be standing water, and it most certainly will be dirty with oils, mud, and plenty of scrap metal. The classes I attended were held at Darlington Shredding, a scrap metal processing yard. It had every kind of vehicle there. Combines, ambulances, fire engines, heavy equipment of all kinds. Classes are repeated on the second day. Get there early enough to confirm which class you're attending on the first day. Then you know where to go on the second. We received notification when and where to show up, but did not receive confirmation which class on a given day we would be attending. Each lead instructor should have a roster with the name of who is attending which day. Lunches were catered by local restaurants. We were served buffet style in a covered area for students to enjoy the meal. There was plenty of meat, veggies, and dessert. Don't forget your hot sauce if you like it, or your favorite drink if you're picky like me. The heavy lifting and extrication class was taught by personnel from Paratech. All the equipment we used was Paratech. Here's a quick look at some of the equipment we used. Struts, bases, hydraulic pumps, chains, grab hook sets, and straps. There were several stations set up. There were 2 cars on the roof, 2 cars on their side, an override, a car crushed under a large vehicle, an airbag area with a car, bus, and dumpster, then last, an underride with a tractor trailer. The Paratech team was well organized. They kept the operations tempo slow enough to learn, but fast enough to perform our given tasks before the end of the day. The first station was a car on its roof. We learned the basics of the Paratech strut system. We became familiar with the components, limitations, and capabilities. Once familiar, we performed a few stabilizing evolutions. The second station was also a car on its roof. This station introduced more components, system capabilities, and the new all-in-one strut Supporter X2. That combined the strut with the ratchet strap. We used different strut bases, chain, and better ways to utilize the equipment. A note, Paratech considers any attachment that goes on the end of a strut, no matter what its location, to be a base. The third station was a car on its side with access to the roof and undercarriage. We built on the skills learned from the previous stations how to utilize the struts, chain, strut bases, and ratchet straps to stabilize a vehicle on its side. The fourth station was a car on its side with access to the undercarriage only. We used the same equipment used in Station 3 to stabilize the car from the underside. The fifth station was an override involving a tanker and a car. This introduced the Hydrofusion Strut, which is a hydraulically driven strut utilizing the same features as the other Paratech struts. Once the suspension was captured on both vehicles, struts were used to stabilize the tanker, and hydrofusion struts were used to lift the load. A tip on using the hydrofusion: when connecting the pump, make sure there is no pressure on the pump. Check the release position on the dial, or it will be difficult or impossible to connect the two. If you're having trouble, double check. It should be easy to make the connection. This footage is no reflection on the operator. All of us learned how difficult making the connection was with pressure on the pump. The sixth station was a large vehicle overturned on a car. In this evolution, we utilized the hydrostrut to lift the school bus and the regular struts to stabilize the bus and capture the load as it moved. We also used a cable hand winch and chain to lift it higher just for fun. The seventh station was airbags with a bus, car, and dumpster. We used all of the airbags and accessory Paratech has. There are many sizes and ways to connect and operate the bags. It's nice to set up where one individual can control many bags simultaneously. Once we were given an overview of the equipment, we practiced on a dumpster, then raised the front of a bus with two different airbag types. After lifting the bus, we went back to the dumpster and gang lifted multiple bags using a single controller. The dumpster could represent any object within the weight rating of the bags. The eighth and last station was a car under the back of a trailer. Once the suspension of the car was captured, we placed the struts and hydrofusion in one location, then set up again in a separate location to see how one might be better than another for raising the trailer. Day 3. The tractor and machinery extrication was taught by rescue techs out of Pennsylvania. There were several stations set up. There was a tractor on its side, a tractor with an override on a truck, a forklift, an impalement, a skid steer, auger, and torch cutting station. The first station was a tractor on its side with a victim under the wheel. Using cribbing and the AMCUS tools, we extricated the victim in a few minutes. We practiced this one twice, trying different placement of the cribbing and tools. The impelled object evolution took less than a minute once we had the object stabilized and the necessary tools. The cutting torch station was fun, as you can expect. We used the torch to cut through steel like it was butter. The evolution for the skid steer was nothing more than a discussion, since Darlington Shredding didn't want us to do anything to it. There was a victim under a forklift scenario. This is one of the situations we wanted airbags for, but only one was available. We dug under the lift, then utilized cribbing to capture the load, then kept building height until we got the victim out. We stabilized and removed a victim from another tractor on its side. This one used the borrowed rescue jack and AMCUS spreaders for the lift. Most of these went so quickly I hardly had time to record them. There was also a demonstration of the picket system, since we'd most likely be in a field with no anchors. There was the tractor with an override, with the passenger of the truck through the windshield trapped under the wheel of the tractor. Once the suspension was captured on both vehicles and the tractor side was stabilized with the rescue jack, the tractor was lifted in seconds with a cordless hydraulic MCUS spreader. The auger station lets students try various tools. There were cordless grinders, saws with abrasive blades, reciprocating saws, and cordless hydraulic tools. It takes a delicate hand and the right tool to prevent further injury and patient comfort on these type of extrications. The tractor machinery area had little room to practice our skills. Understanding the need for realism, there's also a need to allow students the space needed to focus on building skills, then adapting them in the field. It would have been nice if there had been a little bit more room around each station area. The other issue with the area was the large rocks covering the ground. It was a balancing act throughout the day. It was like trying to walk on pool cue balls. We had access to a full range of MCUS cordless tools and some other tools that might be found on a rescue truck. However, we had access to one airbag. The others, the company said, were in use by another class. This was a disappointment. I was expecting to utilize the most advanced equipment available so we could get the experience and try different techniques while we had access to vehicles that are hard to access except during the training event. We don't typically have tractors laying around. They also had to borrow a rescue jack as we were stabilizing the tractor. On multiple occasions, our team found ourselves waiting around to move on to the next station. There are a few reasons for this. Our team already had experience with the extrication equipment available, which made most of our tasks move at a rapid pace we'd want to see on an actual incident. I feel that time could have been better spent getting experience with different techniques using other equipment had it been available. Rescue Tech's crew certainly seemed experienced and knowledgeable. It looks like not much has changed for farm and machinery extrication since I learned back in 1980. Try to disassemble the object so it can be put back into service if possible once the patient is extricated. What has changed is the awesome equipment available that we wouldn't have dreamed of so long ago. Overall, I had a good experience at SES 2023. I will go again if given the chance. They have a great choice of classes to attend. Don't forget to visit our website at www.hear911.com, where you'll find a companion blog for this video, product reviews, animal-related rescue news, and ways you can support our mission. You know what to do. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's free after all. If you've ever busted your knuckles without gloves on during an extrication, go ahead and give this video a like. And hey, share it on your social media if you love animals like we do. This is Big Boss, Rescue Chief, out.